Hey folks, good afternoon from Donegal, Ireland. It's Jonathan here from WP Foodie School. I was just building a recipe hub for a food brand, and one of the features in the recipe hub is we have a recipe submission feature where anybody can submit a recipe and it'll be displayed on the site. So you might say, why are we going to do this? Brands are doing this to build a community around their products. I'll give you an example of this. We have this Sour House company that sell this. It's a little fermentation, little heater thing, and it was very clever what they did to build community around the product. They have a recipe book here, and there's lots of recipes in that, and it's all about sourdough, and it's the Sour House Community Cookbook they've called it, and you can download it for free. So it's a great lead magnet there as well, and so it's very clever because instead of doing their own recipe research for the brand, they got the community involved, and to submit recipes is what they did. That's the idea there, and so over here, another American company, these guys brew this broth. They have a shop, they sell dog products. They sell this kind of some type of, I presume it's a broth the same as we would make for beef stew, something like that, but it's for pets. So they actually, like lots of brands are getting into these recipe hubs, and they have, if we go here, they have recipes as well, and I was reading that all these recipes were submitted by users of the product, and what they did then for payment was they gave them a lifetime discount on any of their products. So you're building product loyalty as well, which is great for your marketing and your profits, whatever your sales. But that's what they did there. And some of these companies have printed versions of their books on Amazon as well. So back to the site here. Here's the site that I'm building. It's a recipe hub that'll be connected to Shopify shops on a subdomain, and then what happens is people can save recipes and they get added to our email marketing software there, and we can do all sorts of cool things here. We have the recipe submission for building community, we have giveaways, and we have a meal planner as well. So here's how it works. You go over to recipe submission, and because I'm logged into the site, it's bringing my name up and my email address there automatically. So what a person would do is they would upload a photograph there. So I probably don't have a recipe photograph handy, folks, but yeah, I just have a general photo there just to show how it works. So they would put in then the name of the recipe, the summary. They put the ingredients, one ingredient per line, so it's displayed correctly on the website, and then the instructions, one per line, and then they go through servings, prep time, cook time. So it's all the values that we need in the recipe card, and of course in the cuisine they submit the recipe there. So I'll just call this I'll just call it testing. Control A, Control C. I'll just quickly go through it here. So just to show you what happens, and you would go through all that. It'll just take a second to submit. And then we have a thank you message. So what happens then, I have it set up so that it automatically creates a new post. I'm going to go through this now next, that you can turn this on and off so that to stop spammers, like they could put, if you have automatic approval on that the posts are automatically published, like spammers could put absolutely anything on the site on you. So you should really have it set to that posts have to be approved before they're published. But you could set it up that the form to submit recipes is only available for members. You could put it in a membership section, a free membership section, just for logged in users. You don't have to go off and buy a membership plugin. I'll be covering that. I did it before a couple of years ago, and I'll cover it again. That it's actually on this site, but I'm not doing it in this tutorial. We have it here where people log in, and but that's for the meal planner. But it'll be the same thing, that only logged in users can submit recipes to stop bots and all. So that's there. So after submitting the recipe, go back to the front of the site. And I called it Testing Jonathan, and there it is. I just have a random image on the desktop there that I used. So like if you were to fill out all the values on the form, like I just said Testing Jonathan for one line of ingredients and instructions, but that's it. So it'll be like a normal recipe that you see on all the blogs, so you can build a community there around your products. So now we need to figure out how that was actually built, and it's not difficult at all. It's quite straightforward. You will need to go over to Bootstrap Ventures to get the WordPress Recipe Maker plugin, and you will have to purchase the top elite bundle, because that is the only version that has the recipe submission feature. So if you already have one of the other versions, you can buy the elite version and you can upgrade. You can just pay the difference, whatever it is. It'll be $50 there, and it'll be at $100 if you have the premium bundle and you want to go up to elite. So I'll put a link to that in the comments under the video. So you will download that, and then you will go to your website, and you have your after. So in WordPress Recipe Maker, actually to install this, actually, because people wouldn't be familiar with this if they haven't used the plugin before, I better explain that for the WordPress Recipe Maker plugins to work, there's a free version as well as the 3 versions that are here. There's a free version on the WordPress repository, and so when we go, it'll normally be down near the very bottom, and we have it here. So this is the free version that I'm on about, and you need to have the premium version, the elite bundle there. You need the 2 of them active at the same time. You don't deactivate the free version and activate the premium one. So that's what you do there. So we need the 2 of them activated, and you go into the settings in WordPress Recipe Maker down here, and there's a category down here all about recipe submissions, and so here we have it. So we can actually turn the CAPTCHA on this form as well to prevent spam submissions, actually. So I forgot about that, but you could actually hide the form to logged in users as well. So we can edit the form here. You can actually put custom fields in the form as well if you wanted to add extra data to it. So recipe, they actually have recipe video upload. So down at the bottom, actually, we have submit. So we actually, if you make a mess of it, you can reset to default as well. So I want to see when I add the agree to terms, that should come up at the bottom, and it does. We can see that's there now. So it's actually just looking at it. So when you click on a block like that, so it goes dark, and that means it's being added. Where is it added now, folks? Oh, it's right down at the bottom. So we might, actually, I'm on a small screen laptop, so I can't actually scroll the whole way, but where did I see we can put the image there, and then you might want to upload a video as well. It actually says choose file, so it's not a link to a video. You're actually uploading it to the site, I think. So I'll have to look into that more. But yes, recipe video upload and recipe video embed. That's what I was just saying. That like the embed would be coming from, that'd be the embed code and iframe coming from YouTube. That you would nearly need instructions on that page, a video, if you're doing that, to explain people how to do that, because they wouldn't have a clue. So I just want to show you, a lot of people are probably not familiar with that. But when you go to any video on YouTube and you go to share here, and so there's different ways. There's a link there, but the embed is there, and you can see that it's an iframe, and we can actually copy all that code. That'd be what they'd have to do, and go back and submit it on the form. So that's what that's all about. So I'll move on, folks. That's interesting. We have recipe costs, and you see when you add a field, it goes to the bottom, so you're going to have to rearrange them all the time and save the form layout. So that's there. Want to go back now. So I edited the form, showed you how to do that. So we can actually, after submission, we can send an email to an email address to notify when someone has submitted a recipe. So that would be your own email address that you would put there. So that's pretty cool. You would get a notification then when somebody has submitted a recipe, so that you're not checking it all the time, wondering are people submitting recipes. And then, like what I'm saying there, if you're leaving the recipes that they have to be approved before they're published on the site, that's what you'll be doing there. So when somebody has submitted a recipe, we have a couple of options here to redirect to a different page or stay on the page. So yeah, you could redirect to, like, wasn't it here? Yeah, like when I submitted the recipe, I just stayed on the page, but you could redirect to your recipe page and everything, because that'd be a good idea. You want to try and keep people on the site and interacting with the site, because if they're just going to a confirmation page, you have no real engagement and they could bounce off somewhere else. So we want to keep up our engagement. So you would probably do that. Text to show after submission, self-explanatory. Show the number of pending recipe submissions in the admin bar. So that would be up here. That would be to notify us that we have pending recipes that need to be approved. Actually, that's actually very useful to turn on, so that they're not getting lost, actually. So approval, automatically approve submissions for nobody. That's what I was on about. You can set that for only logged in users. That's what it's saying. So you could create a free account that people have to log into, and so that when they submit a recipe, that it'll be approved, and then we just have everyone, and that'll be anybody that submits. And hopefully we catch the spammers with the CAPTCHA then. So here we are, automatically add to post. So create and publish a new post. That's the exact same as a normal WordPress post that I showed you on the front there. It just comes up like that. So that's here. So we want to turn it on, and then we can assign a specific category to automatically create a post. Now that's quite useful, because over here in the posts categories, we might create a category called user generated content for submitted recipes. And so we want to keep all those away from our own recipes and keep them in a different category, because then on the front of the site, we might have a normal recipe section, and then we could have a separate section, because they're in the category, we can filter it, and we can set up a separate category for user submitted recipes. Would be the idea behind that. So category, that's it. So I need the short code from up here. Go there, save that. I want to create a page like this now, recipe submission. So go back to my other site here, want to go to a page, add new page. Just wondering, that form is actually a bit too wide. I could have made the column a bit more narrow actually. So we'll call our page recipe submission, and we want to put in shortcode. Could actually the column is too wide, so I'll go, I'm using the Spectra page builder. It's the same as Kadence, folks, but it's actually very similar and it's cheaper. It's from the same team that built, that have the best-selling WordPress team in the world, Astra. It's from the guys Brainstorm Force, based over. They're in. I don't think they're Indian. Are they from Bangladesh? Are they? They're one or the other anyway. But yeah. But anyway, so short code. Oh, sorry. That what I meant to do is actually, I just want to move this here. I got distracted. I was talking about Spectra. One of the main things I want to point out with Spectra, and one of the reasons you might want to buy it, and it'll work on the site with Kadence, and the thing is, we have the pricing there, and so it's quite reasonable at 49. And with the Pro version, you see, with the Pro version, we can build our account login forms that I was on about. I'm actually logged in, so it won't show up, but I'll just actually leave that there. But if I go here, with Spectra, we can build our login and account registration blocks. And you see, the problem is that, surprisingly, Kadence doesn't actually have a block for building user registration and login pages. So you could go over now, if you want to do this, and build a free membership section there. That's what I'd advise you to do. It's great value. Like, you won't get a better deal than $49 there for that. So we want to go back here. I didn't put in the short code yet, so that's WP-RM recipe submission. I want to publish this. I want to have a look at it now. Should be okay. Yeah, well, that's just the containers not right. So if you were, I want to go back now. What we want to do, see, we want to go there, and we want to make sure we have the container selected there. And if we go over to, oh, that's the main container. I'm actually wrong. It's the small one that I want. And we can see here that it's 33. So I'll put that down to 20. I'll change this to 20. And then I want to select the middle one and put it to 60. And that adds up to 100% then. Like that. So it'll just take a second there to load now. So you can see, yeah, it's better now, and just the page title is there. That's just because the page title, I can turn that off there. I'm using the Astra theme, by the way, for this site. It's not a Genesis theme, just in case you're curious where I was getting some of those features from. And you see, folks, if you actually set this up so that only logged in users could submit recipes to encourage people to sign up to the site, you could use this as a lead magnet as well for your email marketing software. You can set it up, and I'll be covering that pretty soon in one of the next videos, that when people join the site, just a free meal planner, not actually paid for service, that when a new user is created on the WordPress website, they will get added to our email marketing software. So that's there now, folks. Sure, I did it on the previous site. I'll just what like all just absolutely anything. I just want to prove that it's working. And you see the reason there's a red star. The ingredients and the instructions are mandatory there, and so there. And do you remember when I put in the estimated cost, because I didn't bother to move it up? Is what happened there. So that's submitted now. So I want to actually go over now. There should be a new post here. And it's there. And the author is me. So that's there. And so they automatically, if you don't name a category for them to go into, they automatically go to the uncategorized category in WordPress, is where they go, these posts, when they're created. So that was set to automatically publish. I want to just show you something else now. When you're managing these recipes, when you go back down to WordPress Recipe Maker, and it'll be here now, we can see there, and we can see it's actually published, view the parent post. And if we go in to the recipe card, we can see actually everything is there. So, and I just put in for the ingredients just one line, Donegal and Donegal, so you can see all that is there like that. So, and just to show you, prove that it's on the front of the site. And there you have it. Like, I didn't upload an image, folks. That's why it's no image and it looks a bit odd. But that's how you can do it. So, folks, that's it. Like, a brilliant way of building community, especially if you're in e-commerce. Like, if you're just if you just have a food blog and everything, you know, if you're not into selling products or anything, I haven't seen it used very much in those situations. But it's a great way of building community. If you're selling a product, like the people here, these sourdough people that sell that cute little heater for keeping the sourdough at the correct temperature for the fermentation, is what that's for. So it's a great way of building community and loyalty around your brand, and Brutus are doing it there as well. That those recipes were all created by the general public, and they were submitted. So that's how it works, folks. There's nothing else that I need to cover. I explained at the start how it works and the different options about publishing the recipes automatically, the captchas there for the form to try and stop spammers and bots. So I explained how it works there, and then I explained that over with WP Recipe Maker, you need the top one, the elite version there. That's the only version that has the recipe submission. So that's it, folks. I'll put links to that in the comments in the video. Hope you found that useful, and looking forward to making lots more awesome WordPress tutorial videos for foodies. Okay, good day from Donegal.